Mark.
I rubbed your feet every single night for 8 years, and now you just expect me to eat beans with you.
Mark, you're my best friend. Are you saying that we're never going to be able to be friends?
Never.
Oh, I feel like he's gonna try everything, you know? I feel like we all know that feeling of having our heart broken. So, you know, maybe Mark is just trying to figure out how he can get himself out of that pool that he finds himself in. And he's not gonna hit a home run every time, but he's definitely gonna try and pick himself up off the floor. So that's one route he goes. And then the other route he goes is putting all of it on Dr. Best, you know, leaning on his new best friend.
Yeah, but then also he chooses Louisa's teaching assistant. Not the best choice.
You're reminding me of stuff that I forgot about, which is very funny. He does choose Louisa's teaching assistant, so maybe our boy Mark isn't really helping himself too much out there.
But was that on purpose? It's just that this is a small town. It's not like there are many options.
I think that's it. I think you're onto something there. I don't think there's too many options. And yeah, so Mark definitely is trying to navigate this field as safely as he can. You know, so there's a funny reveal where however many people there are in this town, I think Mark tries to date all of them after he gets his heart broken. So that was a very funny reveal, very funny episode to get to play in. Oh man, how do we all feel after we get our heart broken, right? Like, you've got to still love them for a while. I don't know if that'll ever leave. So I'm sure that Mark still loves Louisa, you know, and you know, is he in love with her anymore? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But he definitely still loves her, definitely still respects her, and thinks she's perfect, like he says to Dr. Best when they're first talking about it. You know, she's perfect. Only mean thing she's ever done is break up with him. So, you know, I think that there's going to be a lot of, you know, you can't have a relationship with somebody for so long without love and respect and honoring them. So I think that's probably the hardest part for him to get over is that respect and that love and that excitement when he gets to see her. Now he's gonna have to kind of squash down that excitement. She's trying her best to keep the relationship positive. And I think that's hard for him, you know, when you're seeing somebody that broke your heart. It's tough for anybody, right? And you're just you're trying to just make it through the day, and they're looking at you like you're still friends, and you're like, yeah, but remember when I loved you? You know, like, remember when we were together and we were talking about babies and family and marriage and. Oof, I cannot imagine what that must feel like to be left 2 weeks before a wedding. Oof, I'm happy I didn't have to go through that.
And then we now have this love triangle with Martin. But
Yeah.
Mark also genuinely likes Martin.
Loves Martin.
Even
That's
as
his boy.
Yeah, the doctor seems to want nothing to do with him. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with anyone in this town,
No.
though. What does Mark
No.
want that friendship to be?
Oh, he probably just treats Dr. Best the same way he treats everybody. That's one thing that's really fun about playing a character like Mark, is that he is unabashedly earnest, you know? He's got such an open heart, maybe to a fault, right? So when he meets Dr. Best, he has that line where he says to him, you know, you really helped me. And Dr. Best says back, really? And I feel like there's something simpatico about those two guys, right? Like what Dr. Best is lacking, maybe Mark has in spades, right? And what Mark is lacking, Dr. Best has in spades. So they really need each other. They don't know that at first, but you'll find out later how much they really needed each other at this specific time in their life. Working with Josh and Abigail was the best. We had a lot of really good laughs. I'm a big sports night guy, so I've been such a fan of Josh's for so long. In truth, like I'm honored that we're boys now, you know, like I was such a big fan of his, so to go from fan to friend is one of the funny things about our business, you know. But I will tell you that he just, man, that's the captain of our ship right there. And it's really easy for me to follow him into battle because I just have so much love and admiration for him. So it's definitely an easy thing to convey on screen because we're just laughing our butts off at work. And then we get to pop into the scene, and it's such a funny, well-written scene every single time that allows us to play off of each other. So I can't wait to keep making more. And with Abigail, that's my homie right there. You know, we just had so much fun, and that's our set mom. You know, she always made sure to take the photo if we needed it. You know, she has a perfect angle. She does this thing where she doesn't see the camera. She does the backside, but she gets it perfect every time. And it could be like 40 of us. And she just has a perfectly framed photo. She always made sure to plan cast dinners. You know, she was the first one to text everybody after the episode, and just the sweetest text. She's just all heart, Abigail. And I got really lucky with them. Because all we really have at the end of the day, I can't control what the show looks like, can't control how it's received. All we can control is how much fun we're having at work, and this one was a ton of fun. What's in store for us with this love triangle? I think what's funny about it is that the love triangle is a real love triangle because I'm getting broken up with by Louisa. Her and Dr. Best are starting their thing, but nobody knows that Dr. Best and Sheriff Mark have their own thing going on. You know, that's a friendship made in heaven right there. And there are some times where you see Louisa seeing our friendship, which is a really funny reveal as the journey goes. And in real life, what's funny is that there's a similar thing going on where Abigail will be sitting next to me and Josh while we're talking about whatever football game happened that Sunday or our fantasy team that we got to draft together. And she's like, "Are you guys talking about fantasy football again?" Like, yes, we're sorry. You know, it's an obsessive game right there. So we had a really good time, the three of us. Really good time. That was a trip. Probably got to dance to I Will Survive for about 6 to 8 hours, you know, because we're shooting that big scene, right? So you're covering it from all angles. But those scenes, like, so I was there that day with Clea, who plays my mom on the show, who I love dearly. And it was just me and her dancing. So we just had a really good time, you know, and then you're also trying to figure out all the ways that you could drunkenly dance to something, you know, like sometimes it's on beat, sometimes it's off beat, sometimes you're screaming, sometimes you're whispering. So those days are always fun, you know, you're trying to think back to all the times you've drunkenly danced to songs at a wedding or what was supposed to be a wedding. So it was a really good time. That was a big cast day that day, so a lot of us were there. So anytime you have the whole cast there, an all skate as we call it, those are days you remember vividly, and we had a really good time that day. Really fun day. He doesn't even have a gun. There's nothing serious going on for Mark to handle. And you'll see along the way that something happens in the town for the very first time. And Mark finally has a job to do that and he gets to really put on his sheriff coat. And thank goodness he has Dr. Best there so they can go on this kind of on this mystery run together, kind of like Scooby-Doo a little bit. We were trying to figure out what's going on and how it all came to be. So yeah, you know, I think that's part of the joy that Mark gets is that maybe he doesn't have to handle anything too serious. I feel like he might struggle if he had to like really arrest one of his friends, you know? So off we go. Absolutely. Martin was just the best. Like, felt like the Godfather was coming to work, you know, but he just couldn't have been sweeter to us and couldn't have been kinder, and really felt like he was, in whatever symbolic way, kind of allowing us to take the mantle for him, and he just couldn't have been cooler about it, you know. And of course had stories for days that I would pepper him with questions, and we'd sit at lunch and I just, you know, and he would just, yeah, he's just such a charming dude and like just such a great actor. And yeah, I just really appreciate him for coming. And the story goes that I think they were talking to him about what he was going to do on the show. And I think that they wanted to be respectful and say, hey, we just need you to come for a day, you know, and maybe pop in this one scene. And he said, no, what are you talking about? I want to play with you guys. I want to come and be there. And to me, that says everything you need to know about Martin, is that he wanted to come and really be a part of it with us. And I can't wait for the fans of the original to see what he's doing with us. It was really special. Honestly, all of them, you know, like that was one of my favorite parts of this job, is that every time I'd read a new episode, I'd figure out whatever hijinks they were putting Mark in. And when you're going to work and you get to put on a onesie pajama and a cowboy hat and water boots and get put in a dunk tank, you're gonna have a good day. When you are at the baked bean festival and you're falling through a table and pies are getting thrown at you, that's a fun day. When you're sitting in a tree house eating a box of cereal because you're upset because you got broken up with, that's a fun day, you know. Like, those are things that, it's not a normal job that I've been blessed to be a part of. So the antics are things that I really enjoy being a part of, and our show is full of antics.